all this talk about talent. But we want to be known as the most violent.
We will play fast, we will play violent, and we will play angry.
The most hard-working.
We prepare 365 days, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And the most disciplined team in the country.
Physically tough, mentally tough, and emotionally tough.
We're coming to reclaim what's ours.
Let them experience passions through extracurriculars. Let them experience teamwork, discipline, and resilience through sports. Let them experience leadership and service to community. Let them experience on-the-job training through internships and job shadowing. Let them experience the excitement of performing through drama and dance. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
It is a cool and crisp evening in Texarkana as the Parkview Patriots are looking to continue their conference win streak, taking on the Arkansas High School Razorbacks. I put that in quotations. Alongside Brett Kincaid, I'm Trip Keeter, and our producer and engineer is Will Watkins right above us in the press box as we are down here in the bleachers alongside our cameraman Jaden Hester is here with us tonight on the camera. We are in a very interesting spot for a broadcast, Brett.
Yeah, I've been called many games in my life. It's the first time I've actually been amongst the fans for these are usually special broadcasts on ESPN, but this is our standard operating fare for this week here.
And what a great night for us to be out here, actually, because it's cool, a very light breeze coming in. The wind was much harder as we were setting up here in the press box, but it's cooling down, and so the wind is slowing down, so it's going to be comfortable.
Yeah, this is the first real football weather night.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it, it's been a warm beginning of fall, so this is the first time we actually kind of wake up in the morning, you feel the breeze, you see a little frost out on the grass, and you realize it's time to play football.
Oh yeah, it's the colors are changing in the trees too, and it's beautiful outside. It's great weather, and hopefully it can keep getting cooler as the season progresses.
Yeah, I mean, if the Patriots keep playing like they have the last several weeks, they'll be playing well into the colder month, into December, first part of December. Right now, the goal is to get there.
Yeah.
And the first step is to win the conference, and Parkview looks to take another step in that direction tonight.
The air may be cool, but the Patriots have been playing red hot. They have been outscoring their last three opponents 119-21. Absolute domination going into conference play. And the first game that you and I called together was the Bryant game. That was a game that really knocked Parkview down. You know, they had to stand up, get back up, dust themselves off. It helped that there was a bye week week after that, and then they came out swinging in conference play. And now here we are in Texarkana about to take on a 0-6 Arkansas High team.
You know, we talked about this pregame trip. You know, I grew up in South Arkansas. In fact, this field is where I donned the helmet for the very first time in my life.
Yeah.
And it is remarkable to me that Arkansas High is struggling the way they are. You know, this is very uncommon for me in my life to see Texarkana at an 0-6. Looking at them on the field before the game, this doesn't look like an 0-6 team. They are big. They've got numbers. They've got their quarterback is definitely better than most that we have seen this year. Their QB1 is Isaiah Irwin. Nice deep ball, a little slow on the trigger, but if they can get time, he can hurt you. He can throw the ball deep. They run a lot of different sets. I noticed they're running lots of a lot of trip sets, running levels concepts, some seams. Like they do some interesting things.
Yeah.
It's just, are they going to have time? That's going to be a big question for them tonight.
I was told earlier before the teams even got on the field for warm-ups, they were saying, looking at the film, the Razorbacks are the best-looking 0-6 team that they've ever seen, and we're looking forward to seeing how that goes, because obviously coming into a game winless is not fun, especially this late in the season.
Yeah.
So obviously they're looking for a surprise victory against a top team like Parkview.
Well, and if you're Texarkana, you're looking at the standings, and you know, you're 2 games back of Hot Springs, who currently holds the last spot out of the conference for the playoffs. But it's still attainable.
Yeah.
They can still get there. They just have to win. They have to start tonight. And I'll tell you what, this is one of those things. This is the first real road game since Melissa, where they're playing in a Friday night in a long trip against a team that while playing on the road before, other than Melissa, not against the top quality athletes.
No.
Texarkana's got some studs out there.
True.
They look good, like you said. They look good on tape. They look good in pregame. This is one of those, we hear it a lot, trap games, because the Parkview's been on such a roll, because they've just been smashing opponents. Now, going into this game against a team that is easy to overlook. You know, you look at them, you're a teenager, you see them at 0-6, you're just crushing folks. It's a long trip. They're going to be hyped to play these kids, Texarkana is. I mean, this is one of those things where if they don't pay attention to the details and get the little things right, Texarkana could hang around much longer than Parkview expects.
You have a good point, too, because pretty much all of the road games have been relatively close. With the exception of Melissa, the only other 2 have been at Maumelle, which is pretty much next door, and then at Hot Springs. Those are not very far away at all. So coming out here to pretty much, you're dangerously close to the Lone Star State. So it's pretty far out, so far out that we still have a decent amount of Parkview fans here tonight. The cheer team and dance teams are here. The band, unfortunately, is not. So you're going to be hearing any music that you hear is either going to be the speakers or the Texarkana marching band. So real quick, just for clarification's sake, also I see on the field Money, Man, and Kevin Ellis are 3 captains tonight. Very, very interesting as just those 3. But just for clarification's sake, currently I am a student at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. It's going to be very difficult for me to call the team wearing red tonight the Razorbacks. So if I sound awkward doing so, forgive me, please.
Totally understandable. And I sat here as they were doing their own version of
the
calling the Hogs,
yeah.
watching my son, who is instinctively taught to call the Hogs, not understanding why I was throwing shade at him when he was calling the Hogs with them. It's a little cognitive dissonance for him. But you talk about the travel, and this is a thing. Like, this is a 2-hour-plus bus trip. This is this is Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
I mean, we're under the lights on a Friday night. This is one of the more, next week at Magnolia and in a couple weeks at Fairview, we'll get those real flavor of an actual hostile crowd.
Yes.
And that sort like this is this will be a good test. I'm eager to see how Parkview responds to the trip. How long it takes for them to kind of get the legs under them after being on the bus for a few hours. Talking to Coach Bo earlier, they left early in the day. and they tried to accommodate those things, but there's still these are kids, and it's going to take a little bit to get ready.
Parkview has won the coin toss and deferred their option, so they will be kicking off to start the game, and I like that choice. You want to get your defense on the field early. As we look down there on the field, that's a big running lane for pretty much the entire team to make their way onto the field. I see Jermaine Penny, I see Man, I see Ellis.
Yeah, they're
ready to go, and hopefully that the change in climate that they're playing in a much cooler weather game, no precipitation, only a slight breeze, so hopefully their bodies will adapt.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's far from cold. You're sitting here in short sleeves. I'm just in a long sleeve T-shirt. Like, this is not cold.
Yeah,
but it is exciting because it's the first taste of actual fall.
Yes,
and these kids, they're. Maybe that's the little spring they need, is to like kind of help you get your attention a little bit more when it's just slightly cooler outside. Especially for a bunch of kids from the South. If it's in the low 60s, upper 50s, it's cold.
We're in Arkansas. We're no strangers to cold weather, so we embrace it every chance that we get to play football in it. And honestly, if I had it my way, it would be 20 degrees colder right now.
I mean, if we were in the press box, I would agree, really. Right here in the elements, I'm glad the wind has died down. We're up here, we can see where the flags are elevated. They're moving, but the flag on the field is pretty much dead.
Yeah,
There's
that American
really
flag, it was alive and well earlier. We did some audio tests. Says, here come your Parkview Patriots onto the field, riding their 3-game win streak in conference play, looking to make that 4.
Really, you mentioned it earlier, Trip. Nice crowd traveling down from Little Rock tonight. Obviously, Texarkana outnumbers the Parkview fans, but not by a staggering amount.
Right.
This is going to be a good home environment for the road team to experience. They're going to face tougher tests in a couple of weeks. But right now, this is like kind of building up to the playoffs, building up to those environments where you really want to have electricity in the air. We're getting closer and closer to those ball games, and this is a great entry point as we get into the second half of the season.
Obviously, Texarkana, their fight song is the Razorback fight song, considering they're the Razorbacks, and that must be a good feeling for a couple of future Razorbacks on the field for the Patriots, as Cameron Settles, Quentin Murphy. They're very, very proud to call themselves future Razorbacks. I know Q especially. So it's I could give the Texarkana band that. They just played my favorite song, so thank y'all for that.
Well, it's it's funny because on the other side, obviously you've got Texas High.
Yeah. Who are fierce rivals with Arkansas High.
Where they wear the burnt orange and white, but they don't get the luxury of getting to call themselves the Longhorns.
They're the Tigers. Yeah.
So the one up on the other side, we can root for them in that regard. That they're better than their across the state line rivals. And they're rocking the red. They look good. The helmets look sharp.
Yeah. Pretty much emulating the current Razorback football uniform.
Yeah, the twin stripe pants. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Here's Solomon Aguilar kicking off this game, and we're underway in Texarkana. A fumble on the snap. He's going to have to dive on it on the 19-yard line. So an early mistake by Texarkana.
How many times have we seen that this year, Trip?
A couple times.
I was noticing pregame, we were out there looking at both teams and standing there at midfield. And during team warm-ups, I noticed a lot of looky-loos in red. They were looking at Parkview. I wonder if there's just the it factor that the Patriots have, maybe kind of in their heads already. Texarkana knows that they're going up against the best in their division.
Yes.
And that's an indicator that maybe there is a little bit of hesitation in the red.
And how scary and intimidating it must be to know that the top team in your class, one of the top teams in the state, coming onto your field, ready to take you on. And now here's the first play from scrimmage. 1st and 10. They're going to hand it off up the middle. Nowhere going.
It's William Dunbar under taking the first snaps for Arkansas High tonight. They're going to, they run a lot of different sets. They're going to move a little bit more quickly than some of the other teams that we have seen. Remember with the Queen, they ran a little bit of tempo, but for the most part, they wanted to control the clock and shorten the game.
Yes.
Texarkana, I'll be eager to see if they follow that mode or if they kind of go with a little bit more tempo that they've shown in the past.
It'll be 2nd down and 9. Brett, I'm going to rely on you to say the names of the Texarkana players. I forgot my Texarkana roster at home by complete accident, so help me out there.
I'm hoping that they don't do enough for us to call them by name, but if they do, I will do my best.
They're going to look to throw. They fire down to the near side. He breaks a tackle, and he's still on his feet down the near sideline. He's going to be finally knocked out of bounds by Jermaine Penny. That was a good run. Some yards after catch there. That's Christian Roberts. Thank you, Brett.
Yeah, nice little duck out of that. He kind of worked his way out of a tackle.
Yeah.
It looked like they were, kind of this is what happens when you try and big-time a team. Try to get a big hit, knock him down. Kid was able to keep his feet. This is what Texarkana needs for sure. Look, they're doing a little check with me's on the line.
Yep.
Right back, ready to go.
Bit of a defensive breakdown for Parkview, too, because you saw a would-be tackler just kind of slip by him. He was trying to tackle too high, it looked like.
Clearly telegraphed there was going to be a little underneath route, too. Like they read it right, just didn't execute.
Plenty of room to bounce back 2 minutes into this ball game. A handoff up the middle again, only going to gain 2 yards. It'll bring up second down.
We always say, this is in every football game, you could always say the same thing. Win the turnover battle, stop the run.
Yes.
You do those 2 things, you're going to win. Turnover battle, you always want to win, but truly, you want to make Texarkana one-dimensional. You want to shut down this run. Make them try to execute those deep balls.
Almost every single time when Parkview gets a turnover, they execute and they capitalize on that with a score.
Right, yeah, and that's just it. Like, they'll come. Parkview is a great ball-hawking team.
Mm-hmm.
Texarkana has got, they're 0-6 for a reason. They're not taking care of the football. They've got to do that. And they're doing what we kind of hinted at earlier just a few minutes ago, like slowing it down a little bit. They're showing tempo, but then they're slowing down when they get to the ball.
Second down, they're going to look to throw again. Pocket collapsing. He's going to fire deep down the near sideline, I beg your pardon, but it was just too far. That was Gabriel Braggs, the intended receiver, but the ball went out of bounds, so if he caught it, it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Jace White did a good job of pinning the hip. He got his head turned a little bit late, but he was able to avoid any sort of disputable pass interference. He did a nice job of getting and used the sideline as the extra defender. Pushed him to the far side there.
Your fierce rival is the Tigers, and you play Eye of the Tiger on the PA. Look out, a quick blitz. That was a great pass rush that time by Ja'Cory Smith.
You're trying to get to Xavier Crawford there on that. That is a tough call. It's a tough throw. They're on the near hash, thrown to the far side. That's a deep throw. That's a 35-yard throw.
Yes.
When you're getting heat, that is difficult to do under the best of circumstances. So nice job by Parkview to rally. They gave up the one chunk play, settled it down, played well, stopped the run. Excellent defense on the far side here on the near side by Jace, and then forced a really bad pass.
Now Jermaine Penny and Amarian Robinson back deep to return the punt on 4th down and 9. What I like about being out here in the stands, we can hear the ambience of the game. I love it.
Indeed, we can.
So man will get under it. He faked the reverse, and now he keeps it down the near sideline. Get some room, get some great blocks. Here he goes. The punter to beat. You can't catch man. Touchdown, Parkview. That's how you start a ball game.
So much for worrying about the rust at the beginning of the game. One chunk play, shut him down outside of that, force the punt. Not a bad punt there.
No.
Zephania Black, number 28 for Arkansas High, is going to be replaying this one in his mind all night because man got the ball. 28 had him in his sights.
Yes.
Just a grown man stiff arm. Drove 28 to the ground, and it was over after that. There was nothing.
That fake reverse, too, drew most of the Razorbacks towards Penny.
Just the threat of it is going to keep folks in their lanes, and they bit hard. You're right. They really bit hard.
Aguilar's PAT, surprise, straight through the uprights. An early 7-0 lead for Parkview, and the offense has not even played a down yet.
That's one of those things where Coach Boulding is thrilled for the points, no question about it. You want to see what you have offensively.
Right.
You may be one of those things where it's going to be a minute before they get another shot.
There's still some Parkview fans making their way into the stadium.
Yeah, they've already missed a couple of highlights.
Hopefully Jaden's not too shy. If they get too close to the camera, he's not too shy to tell him, hey, move, please.
Yeah, I think people are not going to listen to us yammer the whole time. They'll have their own conversation. Yeah, you hear the train in the distance.
That train was blocking us from the stadium on our way here, by the way.
That is perhaps some foreshadowing for what's going to happen the rest of the night if this is the beginning, because that was.
Man was a freight train running with that football.
I mean, we'll see the replay again, but like the stiff arm into the dirt, that was one of my favorite plays, is to see a guy just own it.
Return this one from the 10. Will be wrapped up at the 21, and that's where his forward progression will be stopped quickly.
You know, they're just a little tentative. Just watching that right there, even on special teams. There was no commitment to that. Where you look at what Parkview just did on the punt return,
right?
They knew exactly what they were doing. Well coached players knew exactly what to do. The return man there for Arkansas High kind of tiptoed around, was looking for anything rather than creating something. He was waiting for something else to happen. And here they are sitting down at the 22-yard line instead of maybe trying to get it closer to the 30.
I think they gave them an extra yard because I'm pretty sure that he was stopped at the 21, but that's okay. So first down and 10. And trouble with the snap. QB is going to have to jump on top of it. Neither he or his running back was prepared for the snap at all.
Yeah, William Dunbar off to a difficult start. Not his fault. It was not a great snap. He also didn't recover very great. Smart, though, to just fall on the ball. Don't make a bad situation worse. But here we are, second series of the game already. Texarkana is behind the sticks.
Officially, it'll now be second down and 20, according to the scoreboard in the stadium. He clapped his hands and made a couple of Patriots on the D-line jump.
It's their second best offensive play of the night is a little change of the quarterback cadence.
Nigel Farsi was a little bit too ready to get into the backfield. Now he'll dust himself off and be ready for the next play.
I don't know if they're still, look like they're running the same set. They're shifting the running back otherwise.
Now it's second down and 15. Jaden, don't break your phone, dude. This is a concrete stadium.
Move Tony Noble back to the other side where he initially was at the running back position.
Now they'll back up into the gun. Takes the snap. Look out. He's got almost no time, and Robinson almost came away with a pick as he was just on top of his man.
Oh, he's going to be really upset about that when we see film. That was in his hands. He read it, and he just cut underneath the route. He knew exactly what was happening. It's good film work. They knew what was happening there. And, watching Dunbar, he just takes a while to load that ball. He takes a little bit of time to get rid of it.
Also, a lot of credit on that play, too, to the defensive line, especially the edge rushers for Parkview. They were in the backfield in a millisecond.
Yeah, it looked like Jeremy Edwards just was shot out of a cannon.
We're going to run a running back screen to the right side, and that's not going to work at all. And now there's a flag on the play in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of about 2, depending on what this penalty is. Also, I like the officials have pink flags this time. That's cool.
Yeah, Breast Cancer Awareness Month where they're using the pink flags. Pretty nice. It is going to be a holding call. Looks like Parkview will decline that penalty based on initial.
I wonder if Will's able to switch the flag graphic to hot pink or something.
That'd be nice. Yeah, Coach B has signaled that they're not going to accept this. Go ahead and take the penalty or take the loss and the down.
And that's the right thing to do because
absolutely.
It's fourth down. That was a loss of yards, so now it's a fourth down and long situation. And now the two guys back deep again for Parkview. I expect them to punt it towards Jermaine Penny this time after what Man just did.
Or if they're just going to go ahead and kick it out of bounds and take their chances with their defense.
He's punting it out of his own end zone. And this one, you're right, is going to be much shorter, only about a 30-yard punt, and it's going to go out of bounds. So now finally, halfway into this first quarter, we're finally going to see the Parkview offense.
Only marginally better than kicking it deep, but understandable. I mean, poor kid was kicking. He had a foot in the end zone when he caught the snap. Not a great punt. Gave them a little bit of room. They're actually going to spot it now inside the 30.
Wow,
at the 29 and 29 and a half yard line. Texarkana just can't get out of the way right now here in the first quarter.
And here come a couple of future Razorbacks onto the field. Quentin Murphy, Cameron Settles sharing the backfield right now in the shotgun formation.
Yeah, money out, split on the left in motion.
We'll bring him in motion. Very nonchalant as well. Here's Settles, gets some great blocks from the O-line, finds a seam, still on his feet, turning on the Jets, and diving into the end zone. A great second effort by Cameron Settles, turning on the afterburners for another touchdown.
That was excellent job downfield blocking. I need to didn't see the number who it was. It may have been Kyron. Really good downfield block. Turned the safety around. The free safety is the last line of defense. Got completely turned around. By the time he saw where Settles was, it was too late. But he had to bull his way in. I mean, that was good running. He was able to find the holes. Never stopped churning.
No. He may have slowed down his momentum just a little bit, then quickly it picked back up.
Yeah, he's finding the holes. He's trying to see if there's a cutback. He was not stutter-stepping in.
Holy cow. Solomon Aguilar just murdered a football.
Yeah, that was easily good from 35 yards. Easily.
So early into the game, a 14-0 lead. Patriots lead Texarkana.
It's the Pats have touched the ball twice and scored both times.
That was a one-play drive.
Need a defensive score to complete the hat trick in the first quarter.
Yes.
And see if we can manifest that.
Maybe so we have a punt return for a touchdown, a rushing touchdown. Now we need a passing touchdown from offense, a pick six, a scoop and score.
Some sort of defensive score.
And a kickoff return for a touchdown. Then we'll have a whole
we'll have a full house.
Pretty much, yeah. The whole touchdown cycle.
Seeing if each team unit can get their own. Now it's on the defense. The special teams and offense are going to have scoreboard on them if they don't pull something out. This feels very much like DeQueen. Although DeQueen, of course, was able to tie the game at 7 before the wheels fell off the wagon for them. When you're an underdog, the last thing you need is to get behind 14-0. Really.
Bit of a shorter kick here, returned from about the 13. He's going to be dragged down. Elliott Bumpers was on top of the return man for about 3 yards, and finally the Patriots drag him down.
That was look like that was Braylon Rayfield for Texarkana on the return there. At least did a nice job of committing. We talked about last time. It was a little tiptoe trying to find a crease. He committed, ran straight through. Didn't do a lot better, but it certainly was sets himself up for future returns by just committing and going straight for the crease.
Now the officials are calling for the play clock to be pushed up, and now we have some sort of timeout.
I just saw Jacory getting called to the side. He's going to
be a
over
timeout
here.
for Parkview.
Yeah, Jacory is a little slow right now. They're going to evaluate for a minute to see if we get him back on the field.
Yeah, Glow.
He doesn't want to take his helmet off, and he's walking away from coaches, saying he does not want to come out of the game, but he's clearly just a little bit off right now.
Also, I was listening to you. I just like this song. Want to appreciate real quick all the folks joining us on this broadcast tonight. We had some concerns that if we were going to be able to do this live or not. We are recording the full game just in case we have some issues, knock on wood, but we want to appreciate everybody joining us, especially in our live chat. Elder ATM checking in, the first comment that we got tonight. We also got a couple of compliments saying these announcers are nothing but flame emojis. They loved the call, so
we appreciate
already
that.
We're.
I'll have my sophomore translate that for me after the game.
Handoff up the middle.
And this is what I expected to see Texarkana do at the very beginning of the game. You're already down 14. This is already going to be a difficult comeback just because you're out-athleted in this game. But you've got to get some positive yardage, and you've got to execute plays that you can pull off. We're doing a stoppage in play here.
Yeah, we have a couple of officials
Nobody told the official timekeeper, though, that it is officially time to stop the clock.
Yeah, the clock is still rolling. It finally stops at 5:19.
I guess they think it's already the second half.
You know, last week, the running clock started in the second quarter.
Yeah, well, we are on pace. We are on pace. Let's see.
That was wild, bro.
I wish there was a way to, we don't have the ref mic here.
No, we
don't.
Can't
determine what they're doing.
It's always the stadiums without the ref mic that have communication
where we really
issues
need
like
it.
this. Yeah.
They did reset the game clock. We're back moving now, but they added 20 seconds left
and counting now. Luckily, Will's in a position where he can actually see the clock this time. We had that issue at Hot Springs because we were in a pretty much a tight closet. And now trouble with the snap. It was way high. And now two Patriots come up with the tackle for loss. Let's see who that was. I'm seeing Kevin Ellis back there. And so was Jeremy Edwards.
And Tony Noble Jr., the running back there, he's a sophomore. He actually saved Dunbar, I think, because that was snapped right between the two of them. Easily could have been a fumble. Nice job by the sophomore falling on it to at least prevent the turnover.
So now 3rd down and long, 4 wide. Patriots not jumping at the clap that time.
It's funny, you're watching Arkansas High before the game. They execute very well against air.
Look out, those edge rushers were coming, and oh man, Jace White almost made a great jumping interception, but also Jermaine Penny lost his footing as well. He would have still managed to catch that football.
Gabriel Braggs is the intended target there. He's clearly their most dynamic wide receiver. Obviously, Jace was able to pin him against the sideline earlier on a what was a decently executed play by Arkansas High, but clearly they're just out of sync. They can't run the football, and if they can't run the football, this is going to get ugly fast.
Punter is at his own 1. He's
much better.
Much farther that time, only going to about the 43-yard line. Last drive for the Patriots was one play for 29 yards.
So they're at the 43. So quick math, average starting field position for Parkview is the Texarkana 36. The average starting field position for Arkansas High is the Texarkana 19. It's one of the many reasons this is already a 14-0 ball game.
You're the only one on this commentary crew capable of doing basic math, so I appreciate that.
I'm trying to be able to make sure I bring something special to the table, Trip.
I simply can't because of reasons. Don't worry about it.
This is exactly what we kind of thought we would see with the lone X factor of Willowbany Rust.
Quinn's going to throw it this time. A quick pitch out to Jermaine Conway, and he gets the first down and about a 12-yard gain.
Christian Roberts on the stop there for Arkansas High. Or I'm sorry, Rodney Kinley on the stop there for Arkansas High. Here comes that tempo. Parkview is ready to drop the hammer.
Some adjustments. I can't speak today. Adjustments being made from the sideline.
Outside, it's cold weather, Trip. That's what it is.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Murphy hands it off. Cameron settles, lowering his shoulder. Only going to gain about 4 yards on that, maybe a little bit more. Be 2nd down.
4-yard gain on first down is usually a celebration point. You're on schedule. So far tonight, this is a disappointment for Parkview. He has touchdown or first down, the only other offensive snaps.
So now this will be their first play from scrimmage that's not on a first down play.
That's right, yeah. See what they execute on second.
2nd and 6. So finally I was correct about the yardage. Q's going to throw again. He's looking deep. He's going to fire to Money, and it was just too tall for him.
Yeah, it was there. I don't know that if Money catches it in stride, maybe he's able to crank it upfield. Not poorly defended at all.
No.
But Q had plenty of time. That's the problem. Is they can't get a pass rush. That's going to be very difficult for Arkansas High. Zarian Randall in coverage there. Again, I don't. It was a fine throw. It was just not right on the money.
Okay.
You're killing me here.
You are a dad, so that makes sense.
It does make sense.
3rd down and 6. Hand off to Cameron Sells. That's a face mask and a half. Even the farthest official from the play threw a flag on that one.
Yeah, back judge was not going to let that one get away. But yeah, the umpire was able to recognize that as well. That was potentially dangerous. That was
that
pretty ugly.
Cameron's head almost did a 180.
Yeah, he snapped his head back pretty badly.
I do want to say, though, we are in a pretty good spot, at least for our vision. Because where we are, we're pretty much where most fans would be in a big game, and we can see the field really, really well. I don't need my binoculars this time.
I was thinking I left mine in Little Rock and was frustrated, and now not so upset about it.
Yeah. So that's going to put Parkview at the Texarkana 11.5. Was that bad of a face mask?
Yeah, now it's just execute. Just got to punch it in. I mean, hold on the football. You could run 3 run plays up here at the gut and probably get in the end zone. Interested to see what they want to run, but Parkview's bread and butter is running the football in those inside zones.
Murphy looking for Marshall in the end zone. Oh, wow. Incomplete as he was covered really well there. He almost grabbed the ball around his defender, that one.
Yeah, DeQuaylen Riley on the defensive play there, sophomore. Big kid, 6 foot, 165.
Wow.
And that is not your average sophomore.
No.
Nice, very nice defensive play there, too.
So here we go, 2nd down and 10 from the 11. Bring Conway in motion. Murphy fakes the handoff and sprints up the middle, breaking tackles. Touchdown, Parkview. Quentin Murphy gets himself a rushing touchdown.
When you have electric running backs and a quarterback who knows how to run the read option, I mean, that is just poetry in motion right there. Perfect job. Read the defensive end. They crashed hard on the running back. There was nothing but open space. He didn't get touched till the 2.
We've got a hog down on the field as might be cramping from the looks of it. Parkview is lining up as if they're ready for an extra point, but I don't think they realize there's a guy sitting down over there.
The Arkansas High defense has been out there quite a bit already.
Oh yeah.
So cramping, I wouldn't think it would be an issue in this type of weather, but they have been out there quite a bit. He's down pretty good, though. We can't see from our vantage point exactly what they're tending to. It looks like a lower half injury, though.
It didn't look like that he was in like excruciating pain or anything, but obviously something was bothering him enough saying, hey, I am not getting up from my position.
Yeah, and this is not a slow the game Ole Miss style injury. This is actually somebody who is apparently a little bit gingerly getting up and walking off under his own power, though.
No help at all, too, so that's good. And you are coming out firing red hot tonight.
I had a lot to think about on the drive down today.
That is true. It's a long drive. Day to day, you work in Bentonville.
Right.
And now you're here in Texarkana.
I was
dedication.
I was in Little Rock today, though, thank goodness.
Here's Solomon Aguilar with man holding.
It's I was just thinking this. We've seen this before. Once again, just crushed through the uprights.
Yeah.
When you got man as your PAT holder, I mean, just the sky's the limit in terms of what you can do with different wrinkles. As Parkview continues to roll, already up 21-0 here first quarter, cruising into a potential conference championship once again. Going to get a play at home through the playoffs. But the competition is still going to get more intense. Just the number of things we haven't seen from this team that they are capable of. They don't have to break out. It's just like when you're playing in a non-conference game, you're the Hogs playing against Western Carolina or something. you're not going to show your whole bag of tricks that first game. You're going to, just run the bread and butter. That's what Parkview's able to do right now, and that's going to be such a game plan advantage when they get into the playoffs, is the ability to not have to know that all of your good stuff is on tape. There's so much that they haven't done yet, that we haven't seen yet, because they can just run up and run their vanilla offense and run over most teams in the conference. Now, that is not going to be the case for much longer. I was looking at the Max Preps rankings this week. Usually, the Southwest Star part of the state does not produce the great athletes and great teams that they have in the past. But you look at now, you got Hot Springs Lakeside, you've got Fairview that are both in the top 10 in the Class 5A right now. Magnolia's on the edge. Like, competition is going to get more and more intense as we get farther along in the season.
After this kickoff, I want to talk about a potential, I know we're about 4 weeks out, but there's a potential playoff situation that could be interesting that Will was talking to me about on the drive here. Kickoff will be returned from between the 4 and the 5. This guy's fast. And the ball popped out and rolled out of bounds. Kyrick Fulks laying the hit stick on that one. Wow.
We're going to be watching Texarkana. They're in the conference. We've seen them for a couple years. That's another sophomore, Tony Noble Jr. on the return right there. As you said, he got to the side, got to the edge, and went hard.
Yes.
And granted, he took a lick and he got up. Granted, they only went to the 22, but he made a decision. He hit the gas.
Yes.
And he went out there. Obviously, didn't find the seam. Parkview's too fast on the back end for most teams to be able to take advantage of that. But we've seen a couple of sophomores out there already for Arkansas High. This is a team that may not be playing very good football right now. Be eager to watch them over the next few years.
Ball spotted at their own 22-yard line. Just under 2.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter of play. QB alone in the backfield this time, brings a man in motion. And a touch pass to him, and he's going to lose a lot of yards. Holy cow. Who was that first? That was Micah Johnson just swarming him.
As soon as we say nice things about Tony Noble Jr., they lay him out to dry on that little pop pass. I mean, the Parkview is so good on the edge. I mean, they're just so good on the edge. You saw that was Jeremy Edwards, I believe, that just boxed out. There was no way that was going to get past the left tackle.
Right.
When he's going to, there's just no hope. This is not Parkview is not a team that any team in 5A is going to successfully on the routine run left and right. They've got to go with those inside plays.
So now it's going to be 2nd down and 16. We'll get to the playoff thing in a minute here, Brett. And a quick out route nowhere. That was a forward pass this time. So assuming that Parkview wins out for the rest of the season, obviously they'll be the #1 seed in the South. But the South bracket is below the East bracket. And one team that's projected to potentially be #1 in the East is Valley View out of Jonesboro. So there's a chance that if these two teams meet in the playoffs, we will be going to Jonesboro.
Valley View, #4 in Class 5A, unbeaten going into the night.
That was a good pass. Yeah, he just had to get it away really, really quick.
He split between 2 potential receivers, Noble and then Xavier Crawford, both in the area. But, yeah, there was
Jeremy Edwards was right in his face by the time he got rid of that football.
Yeah, Dunbar threw a beautiful ball right between the two guys. They need to rep that play more and more and figure out exactly where the read is. Because they had two in the area. It looked nice, but right between, it's almost impressive that he could thread the needle right between the two receivers. He needs to pick one.
So now 4th down, they're going to punt it again. A high snap that time, a bit of a lower one. It's going to stay in bounds. As Jermaine Penny kind of faked a return as he ran towards the ball and made the Texarkana defenders kind of panic to the ball.
The tied for the worst field position of the night for Parkview at the 41. But yeah, with Valley View, it's a program on the rise. They've had a long tradition of being a very powerful baseball program.
That's true. Yes.
The football program is catching up. It's a district that's gaining students through the Jonesboro area. Be eager to see how that their next 4 weeks pan out, because they're currently unbeaten. That would be a remarkably strong semifinal matchup.
And if we go there, you and I will be outside. Their quick pass to Montario Elston on a screen. He found some blocks and gained only about 6 yards on that one, down to 45-yard line. So Steve Henson and the Maumelle Hornets, they played in the playoffs at Valley View last season, and I was told that there wasn't really much room for them in a visiting press box or anywhere. So there's a good chance we'll probably be in a similar setup like we are now, although more bundled up, you and I.
And maybe Magnolia or Fairview will knock them out before we get there. Then they have to come to Little Rock.
Jaden needs to get a shot of the moon behind the scoreboard. Holy cow, look at that thing back there.
Cresting nicely. Nice harvest moon in Texarkana.
2nd down and 4. Money to the Montario Elson gets the handoff. He's running so fast. He's making me stutter. Hit the ATM, Montario Elston. Touchdown, Parkview.
Money Man once again. I mean, it's just unbelievable. His ability to stop and start. That's what has the college coaches drooling. His ability to, I mean, he was at full speed, stopped on a dime, sidestepped, and then was back at his top end speed in no time.
Yeah, he could be a weapon at running back in the college game, because he's not necessarily a tall guy. He's only 5'8", but he's extremely fast. He's got track speed.
Get him in space, and that's, you always hear Coach Petrino always say, feed the studs. He's one of those guys that you want to feed. Just give him the ball and see what he can do.
Shocking. Another PAT is good from Solomon Aguilar. He's been killing it this year, only missing 2 kicks total, and he's been nailing every single one except for those 2. His percentage is so high you can't even count it.
No, yeah, it's such a weapon in high school to be able to have a reliable kicker too. You just don't. I mean, it is very much of a specialty area. His ability for Coach Boulding, just to be able to know you're going to have somebody who can make your extra points, so you don't have to line up and go for 2 every time. You're also, if you get to the 25, 30-yard line, you feel reasonably confident. You can go ahead and trot them out there. Not that they've been stopped a whole lot lately, but if that were to happen, it is an option that a lot of teams don't have.
I want to say a special hello to LaDon Murphy saying, let's go Patriots, checking in from Houston. Sorry I couldn't be there this week, but last week was fun. Well, thank you for joining us all the way out from Houston. I know I've got some friends pretty much coast to coast who likes to join in, so being able to essentially globally watch this broadcast is something very special.
Sure, I got a friend of mine in London right now. I should have sent him the link before the game. Of course, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Perfect time to watch football.
Why not?
Remember Pac-12 After Dark? Return from the 11. A much larger man returning that football. He still gets out to about the 23 before he's pushed out of bounds. Good effort there by Chris Edwards.
Looks like Rodney Kinley on the return there. Yeah, you say a much bigger guy. He's a fullback, also plays linebacker.
Wow. He's a weapon.
Listed at 5'11", 2 1/4. This is not a small guy. And ran, hey, look, angry runs. Kyle Brand, that was a very much of an angry run right there. You were talking about the playoff picture and what it looks like. Parkview clearly already up 28-0, in great position to move to 4-0 in conference. You got Lakeside is at Hope tonight, when presumably you would think Lakeside would go ahead and rack up another conference win there. That would leave, let's see, DeQueen is at Fairview. It's a good chance that Fairview, Parkview, and Lakeside will all be 4-0 after tonight. So that number 1 seed up for grabs.
Only 5 seconds on the clock, so time for about one more play. Going to be a handoff up the middle, gain of about 2 yards, and that'll do it for the first quarter. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the second quarter of play right here on the Patriot Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports.
Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
We welcome you back to Texarkana as the Patriots have been dominating this game, and it's only been one quarter. As we see, look at how huge that moon is. I mean, that's a Majora's Mask moon if I've ever seen one. Holy cow, that's huge. And so now Parkview is still on defense, but every offensive play they've ran has been in Texarkana territory tonight.
Yeah, it's once again, teams are just having a hard time getting anything going against this Parkview defense. I mean, Parkview has for years been thought of as like this ground and pound electric team that hits you with big plays, which they of course do, but it's the defense that really makes this thing work.
Gonna roll it out to his left, fires. He finds a man, but he's quickly pushed out of bounds by Jace White.
Move the sticks on that one. This is the type, we talked about this against DeQueen. Bryant did this with great success. Moving the pocket against this defense is the only way to really slow down that rush. It's not always easy to do. You have to have a quarterback that is able to make those reads, and you got to have usually whatever it is, a field side tackle that can get outside.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to bring a running back in to help with the extra block on the backside. But you can run two route options on that and execute.
Going to come out in a wishbone formation, a quick handoff, nowhere to go. That's Tony Noble Jr.
I mean, that's just one of those things, again, where it looks like Jace White was in the backfield before the ball was. Yeah. They're just getting through so quickly.
It was a good adjustment on defense there by the Patriots. They saw the change in formation and did not allow themselves to get confused at all.
No, clearly understood their assignments on that one. Everybody's controlling a gap or controlling a man.
So no gain on that play. 2nd down and 10. 4 wide receivers. William Dunbar, the quarterback.
I am continuing to bleed the clock, which makes sense.
Run up the middle. That was Zephaniah Black on the carry. He's only going to gain about 4 yards. So it'll be 3rd down.
They've got, look, they put themselves in 3rd and manageable. I mean, obviously you want to be 5 or fewer. At 3rd and 6, though, that's achievable down a distance for most teams against most teams. Against Parkview, it's a little bit difficult.
3rd down and 6.
They keep running out this, 2 wide on each side, 1 back offense. They were showing a lot of trips in pregame.
Yeah, they were. They've only ran about 1 play in trips as well. Dunbar looks to throw. Fired. Oh, my goodness. Jermaine Penny laying the wood. Holy cow. That was a clean hit, too.
That was, that's just good, hard football. That is one of those things where it looks terrible. Thank goodness the referee crew was able to hold on to the whistle. Poor Christian Roberts is going to be pretty darn sore in the morning after taking that one, but it was just good football. Broke up the pass and eliminated what could have been a 1st down.
We're going to have to radio style this a little bit. Looks like we're having some camera troubles here, so it's going to be 4th down and 6.
And the offense is on the field.
And you are right. Texarkana's offense is on the field with the same formation they've been running. They're going to hand it off to Black. He's not even going to gain a yard unless he's very lucky. A big-time stop by the Parkview defense, as one of the guys back there was Chris Edwards.
It's hard to find the words with being generous here, Tripp. That is the 2nd quarter, 9.5 to go. It feels like very much of a panic move. You actually have the first time you could have put Parkview on the other side of the 50 if they had executed a punt. But now Parkview gets the ball at the 35-yard line. Like this is a 4th quarter, totally understandable. 9.5 in the 2nd to go ahead and go for it on 4th and 6 from your own 35 is may help explain why Texarkana is 0-6 at the moment. Also, they had
very interesting formation here. Marion Robinson in at quarterback. He's going to take the snap with a quarterback keeper trying to reverse his field. A defender had a handful of his face mask. A very interesting bit of trickery here.
That handful of face masks, I mean, it looked like he was grabbing cookies. That was so unbelievable how much he got.
Yeah.
That is, we're lucky that he was able to get it and walk off the field, because Marion really got his head yanked. Second pretty aggressive face mask by Texarkana defense tonight.
Personal foul face mask is a little bit difficult to I think this is the first time all season where we've been sitting on the visitor's side.
Yeah,
so
we don't get to see the
we get to see the backside of the white hat when he's making the signals.
That one was at least we kind of knew pretty quickly what that one was in real time. You know, we were looking at this pregame. Now it seems silly trying to articulate what keys to the game would have been for Texarkana. You know, but I went back and I was looking at one of the things I wrote down. We'll come back to this after the play.
Murphy fakes the handoff, looks to throw, fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Parkview! Kyron Marshall that time.
I mean, that's just slightly better than you could do, or slightly more difficult than running just 7-on-7 drill right there. Zero pressure.
No.
Just sat back there, waited for that. I mean, it was nothing fancy. It was just a long post. I mean, it's hard to get more, hard to be critical of anything that Parkview did on that play. That was excellent protection. Q knew exactly what he wanted to do with the ball. He saw the coverage. He knew he didn't have to go through progressions. He knew he was going to get that in the end zone.
PAT is up, and it is good. And it's also worth noting that Kyron was not wide open. He still had a man right on top of him, and he still made an amazing catch in the end zone.
Yeah, that didn't see him fully turn. It looked like that was Xavier Crawford again, who's been all over the field for Arkansas High tonight. It was not bad coverage. It's just you're going up against a premier athlete. And again, Parkview is so well coached and so well drilled in what they want to do. There was no question where Q was going to go with the ball when he saw that. When he saw what the defense was giving him, it was right there for him. There was no hesitation, no reason to go through the progressions. He saw what he wanted, and he took it. What I was going to say before that play is, like, you know, one of the things I went down looking at my pregame notes, and I mentioned this right at the top. During pregame, we saw a lot of the guys from Texarkana kind of eyeballing Parkview.
Yeah.
Kind of gawking almost. Like, these guys look big. They look strong. They all heard about Q. They've all heard about Money Man. They all know about the studs that Parkview has. They were watching them in pregame almost like they were, watching the actual Razorbacks.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if it really is the mystique of Parkview kind of put our team out, by a couple of scores at the beginning of the game.
Drops the kick on the return, going to run out the far sideline and go out of bounds near the 20-yard line. So we look at some scores from around our family of networks from the Natural State Sports family of networks. Mills currently leads Riverview 28-7. Maumelle currently leads Jacksonville 3-0. And looking at the Sylvan Hills broadcast now, it's a scoreless game. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. And right now, last I checked, BB was leading Joe T. Robinson, as they still do, 9-6.
Oh wow, that'd be a shocker.
A long pass on the out route this time, as he was covered very, very well. My goodness. Tori Enlow Moore. That's a 9th grader out there making the defensive play.
And he was all over DeAndre Burnell. That's the first time that Texarkana has had actual time to pass. Like, good on them, and they took a shot. If I'm them, I'm running that on second down because I'm trying to get some positive momentum on the first down. But that was an excellent execution up into the last part. But that's the reason that didn't go well, is because of Tori Enlow Moore. 41, what a nice play by a 9th grader.
So now second down. That time was an out route, but a dropped football on the pass. They're going to call it incomplete. Parkview was doing the heads-up decision by jumping on it as if it was a fumble, but it just hit his chest and hit the ground.
And catch that ball, get forward momentum. It's basically an outside zone. They can't run the ball outside. So those little quick hitches, quick outs, I love that for them for the rest of the game. Try to find some momentum, try some sort of rhythm, because they're not getting anything right now.
I'm getting some text messages asking, why am I calling them Texarkana? We're in Texarkana, Arkansas. I know it's Arkansas High School, but it also says Texarkana in one of the end zones, so how could you not? It just makes sense.
It is what they are.
So third down on the go route this time. A man wide open, making a bobbling catch, and it is complete. Malik Dangerfield that time.
That was the target on the first down play. And once again, this time, Torian Lamore was not able to keep up and basically just got beat off the line by an older guy. I mean, this is not no shade on 41. Obviously, he's a young man just getting his first real action out there. First time Texarkana's been on the other side of the 50.
Well, ball is at the 46. Dunbar takes the snap on a quick play action, looking for the same man again, but he threw it way too far. But there's a flag on the play, and I saw why it's going to be a flag, because we had a Patriot who got a fistful of red jersey there. That was Ja'Cory Smith.
Trying to get a little bit, try to get away with one there. Texarkana is now just going, let's see what these go routes can do. They were picking on the freshman there too.
And he was in double coverage as well, and it wasn't really much of a catchable football. So interesting that you grab onto his jersey like that.
Yeah, you had Ja'Cory over the top, it was Jaden McMillan over the top, but it had it was at this point you're down 5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
a pick six. I mean, an interception at the 25 would give Parkview the worst field position that they've had all night.
So now the penalty results in a automatic 10-yard gain and a new set of downs for Texarkana.
Easily their best drive of the night.
Handoff to Noble, and he's got nowhere to go. That was a wrestling style tackle by, who was that? That was Chris Edwards on the tackle that time.
Yeah, he came up from the back. That was once again. Parkview defensive ends were just in the backfield almost on the snap. That looked like it was Billy Moore that came off the line first, and then big man in the middle, Donald Lee, was getting in his face as well. Now they're showing all the gaps. They're coming.
On 2nd and 13, he's going to just throw it long to essentially nobody, as you could tell. He was looking for a man. He was looking for DeAndre Burnell, but it was way too far ahead of him.
He just had to get rid of the ball. And Burnell, don't like the body language off him right now. He's frustrated. I understand why, but you got to work back. You got to understand that your quarterback is under duress.
Yeah.
You've got to work back and try to find the football.
So now it'll be 3rd down and 13. Clock stopped at 6:37. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, now is the time, like if Parkview were able to get the stop, now's the time to go for it. I still am baffled by the 4th and 6 at their own 35 that set up the 35, the 5th touchdown of the night.
Takes the snap, looks to throw down the far side, looking end zone. Dropped it. Wow. Jermaine Penny on the coverage that time, but that would have been a Sports Center catch if either man caught the football.
I was going to say, both kids had a real opportunity. Of course, he's not turning his back so we can see who it was. I want to be able to shout out the kid from Texarkana. It looked like maybe it was DeQuaylin Riley. But both of them really had a great opportunity at the football right there. And you're right. Would have been a highlight reel catch for either one of them.
Some pretty good camera work by our guy, Jaden Hester, here to our right. He's only a freshman at Parkview High School, and he's been killing it this season.
It's nice coverage there.
4th and long. They're looking to throw, and it's batted down by Jace White, so another turnover on downs. Parkview football.
It's the first sustained drive of any type for the Razorbacks tonight. Good for them. They made some moves. Also, I'm sure, Coach Bolden doesn't ever want to give up a yard.
No.
but he's also probably happy to see Parkview give up a little bit, have the penalty. No problem, Coach. We got this. We're going to get it fixed. We're going to make some plays. You know, there was the first real threat, and Parkview was able to turn him away, keep the shutout streak intact.
This is the first play from scrimmage for Parkview in their own territory. I just realized that.
This is.
Wow.
I was noticing that when they went for it earlier and they got across the 50 that they were not going to punt.
Murphy looks to throw, fires. That's Kyrick Folks, and he's finally going to be taken down. That was a quick play. Back in Texarkana territory, down. We're going to mark it at the 35.
Yeah, I think Q is annoyed having to take the snap on the other side of the 50. You want to get back where he's more comfortable right away. And here we go with tempo. They're moving fast. Little check with me. Looking back at Coach Bo, seeing what they want to do.
You bring Jermaine Conway in motion at tight end. Hand it off to Dak Crosby. Up the middle, look out.
Oof.
He's got the speed too. Lowering his shoulder, throwing an arm. Touchdown, Parkview. Dak Crosby. Holy cow, that kid is fast.
That is electricity. Woof. What a nice run by the junior. Again, he planted his foot, and he went to that corner, man. He knew exactly where he was going. I've seen this a couple of times tonight. Great downfield blocking by the Parkview wide receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to get a lot of love on the tape review tomorrow because they've done an excellent job of trapping the defensive backs for Texarkana deep, and to where they can't. By the time they turn around, running backs are already in the end zone or right up on it.
Here's Aguilar again. And he kicks it perfectly again. A huge lead, and it's not even halftime yet. 42-0 for Parkview. At this point, we pretty much just want to see the backups and nothing but the backups.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a delicate thing for coaches to monitor here. How do you keep the kids focused?
Yeah.
How do you not have a bunch of knucklehead penalties and sloppy play? Because we still got 5.5 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Like this
and then a whole half of football.
We're not right up on second half yet. Like we got a lot of football left.
Yeah.
They could easily get half 100 before halftime. And for Texarkana, if you're the Texarkana coaches, what are you telling your kids right now? You know, you gotta and if you're the head coach, you're telling your offensive coordinator, we need to bleed clock. You got to do short passes, inside runs, anything to kind of just get this defense a little bit of a breather.
Yeah.
And make sure that you are lifting up these kids and giving them something to hold on to as you head to the locker room.
So here's Solomon again. Booting is a bit of a lower kick, but it goes much farther, as it's almost returned from the end zone, from the goal line. Now making his way, trying to get towards the near sideline, somehow slipping away before he's finally taken down at the 26.
Who was it? That was Tony Noble again, on the field a lot for Texarkana so far. He did a nice job. He ran to the hole. Nothing was really there, and he patiently looked through. He wasn't tiptoeing because he was unsure. He was just trying to find a zone, and he found one, ran really hard. I was impressed by that. He was a really hard runner. We are seeing a few new faces in. We talked earlier. We were able to call out Tori Enlow Moore's name for both positive and less positive things. He's back out on the field, got some coaching on the sideline. We're going to see more and more of these younger faces out there.
You love to see it, too.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. This is how you build championship culture.
They run a bit of a wildcat here, and look out. He's got some room, and he's got nothing but green ahead of him. It's a foot race. Jermaine Penny's catching up with him, and he makes a touchdown-saving tackle at the 5-yard line. Holy cow, Jermaine Penny with the track speed.
That is that was impressive to watch.
Yeah.
Penny came on like a freight train, and now we're cycling in. We're seeing Jeremy Edwards get back in the ballgame. We're seeing Nigel Farsi get back in the ballgame. Coach Boley does not want to see this scoreless streak snapped.
No.
And if you're Arkansas High, that's exactly what you needed. You needed to flip the field. You get something positive happen for these kids.
We're going to line up in the wishbone. We'll take a direct snap that time. The Patriots were ready for it. Micah Johnson with first contact in the backfield.
Wishbone, this is even older than that. I think, Tripp, this is back to Newt Rockney's single wing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're bunched with, they're bunched with their three backs behind the right tackle, basically, and then the one back snap. Like, this is not old school. This is extremely old school. Here they go with that trip set to the right.
Like the Newt Rockney, yeah. This time it's Dunbar and Black in the backfield again in their regular set with trips to the right. Dunbar takes the snap, looks to throw, firing to the end zone. And wow, what a great catch. And Texarkana's on the field. On the board, I correct myself there. Finally on the scoreboard. There goes the shutout streak that's been spanning for about the last
couple
three
of months.
games. Yeah.
That looks like that was Christian Roberts on the touchdown grab there. Nice job too. It was good coverage. He was able to turn around, find the ball, catch it with a hand in the face.
Yeah.
It was well done. And that is
PAT is good. So it's now
lefty.
7-42.
We haven't had to say this much, and I'm eager to see how Parkview responds.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? We were sitting there talking right before that big play popped about how do you keep them focused? How do you keep them from not doing silly things, making big mistakes? How do you do it? Well, this is one way to do it, is they get woken up real quick and understand that while the game is not in doubt, their effort is going to be judged for the rest of this ball game.
Clock is still rolling. I just noticed looking over there. It's now at 1:35 and rolling. I'm pretty sure that's not intentional. They didn't signal for any sort of running clock as far as I know, as we're still in the second quarter.
I don't think anybody is going to argue too much at this point.
No. That just means I get to go home earlier and get ready to go to Fayetteville tomorrow.
Right.
Huh. So kick is away. And will be returned by Man. Look out, he slips away. He finally has to be tackled from behind. It's going to be another face mask penalty, I believe. And I was just given a text message by Will Watkins saying it is intentional. The clock was running.
Yeah, I just saw that too. That was Kyron King who came in with the stop and couldn't help but get a little bit of the bar there. So now that makes sense that this game is already moving.
Yeah.
I mean, you stop now for change of possession, but it makes sense. It's probably good for the health of everybody.
Yeah, it is, because 42-7 before halftime is just absurd.
I mean, this just doesn't happen. And again, it said this at the top of the show. Like, this is it's just so unusual for me to see a Texarkana team get manhandled like this. But again, I said this earlier, we've seen a couple of their sophomores get out there and play. I think the future, while it may not be bright, it is not quite as dark moving ahead, because these guys have some players. They just need more nurturing. They need to get on the field more, and they're going up against the absolute best in Class 5A.
We're officially an hour into this ball game, and we're almost at halftime. So honestly, I like the call of letting the clock roll.
Yeah, we could be here until midnight if there was no running clock.
Oh, yeah. And so as we near halftime, we will bring you the Arkansas High School Marching Band. We don't have Parkview's Marching Band here, unfortunately, but we love to bring you the performances of the high school bands that we get to see all season long.
It's one of the best parts of Friday Night Lights, is the overall experience.
That's Bunting this time at quarterback. He quickly looks to throw, firing to the far side. That's Omarion Robinson that time, and he got tackled by the turf monster down at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I think O just decided he didn't want to take the hit. Let's get down and get the offense up here, move quickly, and get another snap off. Bunting, again, really, really like his throw, like his ball.
We were watching him during warm-ups and even Now, Quentin Murphy would look at us like, oh, yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's got a real snap on the ball.
Bunting this time to the near side. As he's instantly wrapped down by those Kyrick Folks on the reception.
Parkview will spend its second time out right here. Trying to, they want to get one more snap off.
And they do receive the kickoff to start the second half.
That's right, they do. So I imagine we'll see more bunting in the second half. We may see even more, may even see Montrell Thompson or some of the other deeper on the roster QBs come out on the field tonight.
Now here's a problem that is almost exclusive to Parkview. Do you want to keep your offenses, despite them being your backup offenses, you want to keep them going, want to keep them rolling, or do you want to just run the ball and let the clock keep rolling? But at the same time, you want to give your younger guys some live reps. So well, what do you do?
I think with the running clock, it helps alleviate some of those concerns of running up the score.
That's true. But also, you don't want to run up the score too much, as if because you don't. The last thing you want to do, obviously, if Parkview scores here for the remainder of the game, it is not necessarily meant as a sign of, bad sportsmanship or disrespect or anything, as Texarkana takes a timeout.
I mean, is the defense's job is to stop the offense. If they can't, just because they're throwing the ball doesn't mean that they're running up the score. If they're running base set plays, running pretty simple routes off the route tree, they're running 2 route concepts. They're not doing anything fancy, and they can't get stopped. Then what are you going to do? You still have to play the football game.
That's true.
I mean, if they don't want to get scored, they can just quit. But that's obviously not going to happen. So, but you're right. It is. You don't want to be at your own 30 and be running 4 goes. Like that would be pretty unsportsmanlike. But if you're Parkview is a run first football team anyway.
Yeah.
But if you give it to them, they're going to throw the football, and we've seen tonight they're going to do it at a very high level.
Got Cameron Settles in motion. A quick fire and into the end zone. Jermaine Conway, touchdown Parkview, but we have a flag in the backfield. I think Bunting might have been hit late.
It was borderline. I actually don't love the flag there, but you want to keep the quarterback safe.
So the touchdown, if that is the penalty, should still stand. And it is.
Yeah, it was just it was just a little bit late. It was. I mean, and I watched the kids actually. Bunting got up, and I didn't see the number of the kid who hit him. They got up. They dapped each other up after the play. It was not dirty. It was just a little bit late. And I don't love the call as I think it was a little bit aggressive, but especially at the high school level, I prefer to see the white hat err on the side of caution. It's a teachable moment also for that defensive lineman from Arkansas High.
What I do love is seeing Solomon Aguilar continue to nail his extra points and field goals and everything in between.
But what I said that to the field house.
Yeah, but what I also loved too was Jermaine Conway's extra effort. He caught that ball at about the 3-yard line.
You're right.
But still kept moving and even reaching his arms out to make sure that ball was in the end zone.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It was an effort play to get across the line. And we talked about how the only time we've had to say this, how is Parkview going to respond? How about
almost flawlessly
a 65-yard drive in the matter of 44 seconds to get those 7 points back?
We still have some sort of time left, as only 0.7 seconds is on the clock before the end of the half. So pretty much what I want to see here, I want to see Solomon do a quick squid kick and just let's just call it right here, right now.
Yeah. Avoid any collision plays here.
Yeah.
Just get it over with.
Interestingly, the officials are signaling for
the enforcement of the.
So I didn't even think about that at first, but it made sense. So Solomon's going to be kicking off this football in Texarkana territory. At first, I saw Texarkana moving backwards, thinking they were trying some sort of protection for their return guys. But then
wouldn't be a bad idea.
Something clicked in my head being like, wait a minute, there's a penalty.
Enforcement on the kickoff. see if Aggie can put this in the end zone. And
he might hit this through the uprights.
Oh,
I think he got
short.
It.
Oh, it's just short. It was online. There's no doubt.
Wow. And you were right, too. For most of his PATs tonight, he's been hitting them to the track.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
almost farther.
He is every PAT, all
like
7 of them, have been good from 30 to 40 yards.
Mm-hmm. So now we're only going to have time for one play on offense by Texarkana. It's still 0.7 seconds on the clock. Very interesting here. Do you get ambitious and run 5-man go trying to get to the end zone to score?
Oh, if you're Arkansas High, heck yeah, man. Just go long. See if you can do anything. I mean, of course, you got Micah Johnson in at an edge rush right now.
Yeah,
he may not have a lot of time.
And they lose
there you go.
The snap, and that's pretty much the name of the game for Texarkana on offense and defense. Now both teams will make their way to the locker rooms, and we'll bring you the halftime performance and also some halftime updates and reports when we come back on the Patriots Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports.
Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
Project Zero is a 501c3 nonprofit with one goal, and that is to have 0 kids in foster care waiting to be adopted.
And we're hoping to have 0 kids waiting. That's our whole goal, Project Zero.
It means no kid is forgotten, and there are people always fighting for kids to find their forever family, no matter how old they are.
There's not awareness out there. I don't think people understand the need that we have here in our own state for these children who are wonderful children waiting for forever families.
Let them experience passions through extracurriculars. Let them experience teamwork, discipline, and resilience through sports. Let them experience leadership and service to community. Let them experience on-the-job training through internships and job shadowing. Let them experience the excitement of performing through drama and dance. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
Right line. Is that right? Gilbert from the filmmaker in that venue, featuring the music of the Beatles, Elton John, David Bowie, Richard Strauss, and music from the hit film Star Trek. Razorback Marching Band is proud to present the 2024 show across the universe. Drum Navy, is your band ready?
Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
Yeah, we welcome you back to Texarkana, as this ball game has been all Patriots as they lead 49-7 going into the third quarter. Trip Keeter alongside Brett Kincaid, and we got a lot well, really not much to talk about unless we want to chat about some around the conference scores, because we saw some interesting ones. Like you showed me, Magnolia is currently tied with Hot Springs 3-3, which I thought was very interesting because obviously the Hot Springs was the first conference win for the Patriots this year, but they also put up a bit of a fight as well in the first half. So next week we go down to Magnolia, so that's going to be a bit of an interesting game.
Yeah, and you know, if you're Magnolia, you are within shot of getting that number 4 seed out of the conference, and you got to go through Hot Springs to get it. So they're clearly thinking that way right now, and the Panthers are. But then you look at others around the area. I mean, Lakeside up 49-0 on Hope, as kind of expected.
Yes.
Fairview is I think 35-0 on DeQueen. So the top of the conference is performing as expected.
Yeah.
And really Magnolia and Hot Springs are the only two in the middle. And they are in a slugfest to try to see who's going to have the upper hand for that number 4 spot. Looking here at our own game, Patriots back out on the field, obviously getting warmed up, loosening up, getting a little jog in. I see Emmanuel Bunting getting snaps here and getting a little bit of throws in right away to try to get loosened up for at least a start. The second half as QB1 for the Pats. Eager to see who comes in beyond him. I have a feeling we may see a third quarterback get snaps tonight.
Also interesting, you mentioned, the top of the conference playing as expected. It strikes me as interesting as our final 3 games of the regular season are against arguably the better teams in the conference. Obviously, we played Hot Springs to start conference play, but then it's kind of been of a downside. We go from DeQueen to Hope to Texarkana, who are more so on the bottom side of the conference.
Undoubtedly.
And the scoreboard kind of proves that right now, and the same can be said for the past 2 games. So next week is going to be very interesting, going to Magnolia. And also, I've been hearing some good things about the local restaurants around that area, Will. So remember that for the drive down there.
Chickadilly's.
I've been told a place called the Flying Burger is good as well. You told me there's one around.
There's one on the Texas side here.
Around here. So, I mean, hey, some pretty good grub options for a road game.
We can go through. We can do the Magnolia menu if you want. I can hook you up on the best places to go there.
Jaden Hester, our camera operator, rejoining us here in the bleachers. We're on the top, pretty much, of the visiting side over here.
You know, back to what we were talking about in terms of the conference and what we were looking at. You know, you nailed it in terms of like. Start out with the mid-tier team. We didn't know it at the time, Hot Springs, but like kind of right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we play the bottom half, and now we go back middle, and then it gets harder and harder the rest of the way up. And that's good. I would imagine that Coach Bolding is kind of happy about that to get ready for the playoffs.
Parkview would have returned to the kickoff to start the second half, but it goes out of bounds. So that's going to be an illegal procedure on Texarkana. So I'm, as much as I am looking forward to Magnolia next week, I can't help but turn my attention to Lakeside, who are playing on Halloween night. That's a Thursday night final regular season home game. I've heard nothing but good things about their football team this year. And so they might be kind of a dark horse, I would say, coming in to that game on Halloween night. That one's going to be a good one. I tried talking to our guys to wear their black jerseys for that game. I think they're wearing red. So I'll see if I can convince Marion or Monterio, some of the seniors. I know that's their choice for what uniforms they wear. And are we going to re-kick here?
They're gonna ask them to kick it again.
The seniors, from what I understand, choose the uniform combinations for each game.
We haven't seen the powders yet this year.
That is an interesting point. I don't think we have.
Maybe first round, because I will be wearing the whites again next week, I assume.
I'm trying to think now if we even have seen that at all this year. I don't think we have. Speaking of Amarian Robinson, he's returning the kickoff, and he had a lot of speed there until a Razorback wrapped around his legs, and he's tripped up at about the 44-yard line of Parkview.
He's annoyed he didn't get to the other half of the field. You can tell he felt like he had a crease, and he did. But the Arkansas High special teams closed a little bit farther down the field than I'm sure their coaches would have liked. But Parkview will set up 1st and 10 with a running clock. We're already almost 2 minutes into the third quarter.
Yeah, 2 kickoffs and 2 minutes.
Yeah, there was not a lot of urgency to get lined up again to do the second kickoff, I noticed.
So we're going to see Emmanuel Bunting again at quarterback. I also see Dak Crosby in there as his running back. Jermaine Penny still in the game. Jace White also in.
Yeah, we'll see more of these. Here's
Jace. He had a lot of speed, and there's a flag. As soon as Jace hit the ground, that flag was thrown, so I'm very curious to see. It might have been some sort of hold on the far side.
We're
going to see what it is.
An illegal substance? No, surely not.
It is a holding.
Okay. Yeah, it was on the back side of the play. He was already through. Penalty came in. The flag came in very, very late. But this, I was going to say, we're going to see more of these skill players probably cycle through, and maybe when we hit the fourth quarter, we'll start to see some different combinations across the offensive line as well.
And as far as I know, we've been rolling pretty good in terms of our broadcast, and also that's pretty much thanks to all of the folks watching us at home. So we appreciate you joining us for essentially another Parkview victory, even though it's the beginning of the third quarter.
I'm not going to worry too much about the announcer's jinx on that one, Trip. I think we're okay.
I've had some bad luck in the past. I don't think it'd be that bad unless some miracle happens.
6 touchdowns, I think, is the threshold where you cannot have to worry about it.
So now it's 1st down and 20 after the hold. Bunting was looking to throw, but he lost his time. Now he's going to throw it to Jermaine Conway. It was just too tall for him, but honestly, Jermaine could have made that catch. He had to make it on the run, though, with a little bit of urgency.
Jermaine's going to be upset with himself that he didn't pull that one down. It wouldn't have been an easy catch. Jerry Deloney was really getting some good pressure in the backfield there for Arkansas High. Again, these kids are big. 6'2", 195 defensive lineman Deloney is. They've got size. Parkview is able to keep the quarterback clean. That's the first time we really faced pressure all night.
Elliot Bumpers is the receiver on the numbers on your near side of your screen. Dak Crosby gets the handoff, and he instantly had a man wrapping up on him. That'll be a 3rd down and about 17 situation now for Parkview.
It really is the first time that the Arkansas High defense has been able to stop the run. The Parkview's been resetting the line of scrimmage pretty much all night.
Yeah.
Getting downfield, 6 plays pretty much anytime you snap the ball at least. So this is the first time, 3rd and very long, 3rd and 17. Yeah. Not a lot of plays in the playbook here, just to see if they can chop it in half and then maybe make a decision to go for it.
Most games around the state still in the 2nd quarter of play, as we're here in the 3rd quarter. My hometown Heber Springs leading Little Rock Hall 36-14 right now at Panther Stadium. Bunting on a screen pass to Dak Crosby. Slips away. He almost broke that tackle, but he was stumbling as his body was kind of moving forward. He was low enough to be knocked down, but honestly, Dak nearly slipped away, and he could have got the first down.
Rodney Kinley diagnosed that and came in and made the first hit. If not for 20 in red coming through and disrupting that probably would have been first down because there was he had room, but once it got stumbled up, taken down a little bit, it really did eliminate any chance to move forward with it.
For the first time, and I want to say a month, we're seeing Amarian Robinson set to punt, and we just got a flag. I think Jaden McMillan he's getting called for an unsportsmanlike conduct. He was doing cartwries over there.
Jaden's going to learn a very tough lesson.
Yeah, he's and I see Brad Boulding over there like a
just
shark smelling blood. He might be Jaden might not be receiving some nice words when he gets back to the sideline. That's like, understandably, you're excited that you're in the lead and you're going to be 6-1 and by the end of this game, but obviously you just got to keep your composure and keep playing football. A high snap, and man, that's not an often thing that you see. He shanked the punt. It didn't even cross the line of scrimmage.
No, that was I thought that might be a backwards punt there for a moment. That had so much backspin on it, landed out of bounds. So, okay, so we were talking at halftime. What are we going to talk about in the second half?
Yeah.
49-7. Well, right now, if you're Coach Boulding, you are madder than you've been all night right now. And you've got to put it on these kids and say, you guys need to buckle down. We're going to walk out of here with a W, but if this gets sloppy, we can't do this next week, and you sure as heck can't do it the final 3 weeks of the year. Like, you got to button it up and be better right now. And you can't do this knucklehead stuff.
No.
We're getting, unsportsmanlike penalties in the punt formation.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing?
Like, it's okay to be excited that you're dominating this game, but also you got to show some form of discipline and sportsmanship throughout the rest of the game. Yeah. You could do all backflips and stuff. You know who was doing a bunch of cartwheels and backflips after a game? Bryant, when they beat us by 20.
Yeah.
You can do this after the game.
Yeah, look, these are kids. We are dealing with teenagers. They'll learn. That's going to be a difficult lesson.
Coming out in the in the Rocky formation.
We're going to call it an offset wishbone.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a wildcat with a wishbone in its mouth, essentially.
It's as if the wishbone were behind the quarterback. Instead, they're running the wishbone between the tackle and the tight end.
A broken wishbone.
There you go. They did not get their wish come true on that one, though. Just a 3-yard gain. It is interesting look, and it's something that coaches that are going to be facing Parkview later in the year may look at this tape and see if there's something that they can exploit just with unusual formations. It's basically like an offset power eye. It's very unusual.
And we have a flag on the play. It's going to be a false start, as we had a guy. I thought he was hurt for a moment because he just kind of fell over. And
emotionally, he's wounded at the moment right now. That was our man, Rodney Kinley, the big 225-pound fullback linebacker who had a nice kickoff return during the first quarter. One of 5 kickoff returns for them in the first quarter. It's not a good sign if you're returning the ball that many times.
And 3 minutes until the end of the third quarter. Can we see if we can get about about 31, I want to say, more subscribers to the Patriot Sports Network to get us to 700. We want to get to 1,000 by the end of the regular season, so can we reach that? We have 144 people viewing our broadcast right now, so can we see,
Those are 144 of the true faithful hanging in for this one.
We're nearing 150. I don't know how many of y'all are actually subscribed to the network, so go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and you'll see plenty of more fun broadcasts like this one.
There's a nifty little run there by Tony Noble. He did a nice job making himself small and get through the little hole, but then, of course, after the penalty, they're still backed up way behind the sticks. And they'll come back out in their spread formation, it looks like.
It's also worth noting there's still plenty of time if you want to sponsor our broadcast, especially with the postseason coming up. You don't even have to own a business to sponsor the broadcast. You can just sponsor individually and get your name be heard or get your business quarterback fumble and he recovered it quickly.
Yeah,
but
William Dunbar, tough night right now.
The final view count of our broadcasts are in the thousands. Literally the thousands for each and every game. So if you want just your individual name on the broadcast, shout it out, or your business, give us a call, and we will proudly put you or your logo on the screen. We have plenty of options as well. For example, we could have a touchdown named after your business, or when we get into the red zone, that could be also your business's name as the red zone. Plenty of options. You name it, we got it. And now the quarterback's just going to keep it himself down the far sideline, as that was Dunbar after he dropped the snap in the previous play, running out of bounds.
That's a choice. As a business decision there by Mr. Dunbar. Senior, and it's fourth down. You expect a little bit more. You at least throw the ball up for grabs, see if you can get something out of it. Instead, it's a turnover on downs, and we'll see what Parkview comes up with Emmanuel Bunting coming back out onto the field. Clearly, Quentin Murphy's night is done, and we'll see the second and third team special team
and now we have a
special
flag
skill players.
Again, what? I'm not quite sure what this flag is going to be. The play clock did not run out. It's frozen at 24.
Illegal substitution.
Okay, so it's on Texarkana.
Yeah, they had 12 men on the field in the huddle and on the field. So we'll move it up 5 yards and see if we can get a snap off before the end of the third quarter.
Clock is still rolling with about 21 seconds here in the third. This game is basically when most games are going to be in or finishing halftime. We'll be done here.
Yeah, this is moving very quickly with the running clock.
And it looks like Parkview might just let the clock roll.
I think you're right.
No snap yet, and they're not even going to take a snap. So the score remains 49-7 as we go into the fourth quarter. We'll be right back really quick here on the Patriots Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports.
Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
Welcome back. Patriots lead 49-7. Alongside Brett Kincaid, I'm Trip Keeter. Our producer and engineer is Will Watkins. Our camera operator tonight, Jaden Hester, our Parkview freshman. And tonight's been all Parkview.
I mean, from the jump, Texarkana never really had a shot tonight.
And here's a handoff. That was Marcus Barnes, who got himself a couple of scores last two games.
Love seeing these underclassmen get in. Marcus, a sophomore coming in, getting some snaps. We see Kyrick Folks back out there, one of the juniors on this team. we're going to see a handful more of these. Not sure how many more snaps that Parkview has left in them offensively, but what they do have, I think we're going to continue to see some of these younger guys get in.
So now 2nd down and 3. Bunting's going to throw to Kyric Fulks. Fulks gets the 1st down and then some, crossing the 50 into Texarkana territory.
Once again, great downfield block. And Jace White just engaged on the stock block and went downfield and carried him 12 yards, allowed for that little swing. But basically, it's basically a toss play that goes down as a pass. Gets to the outside, moves the chains. This is good rhythm. You just want to see these guys execute right now.
Seeing our viewership numbers start to rise, so make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. And here's Bunting. Quick screen pass to Jace White. Jace only going to gain 7 yards.
Once again, these little stretch plays, basically just throwing it out to the outside, see if they can find a crease. No penalty, obviously no traditional penalty, but like you're not penalized for running out of bounds with a running clock. Keep this thing going, and again, another way to keep kids safe and get guys a few more snaps. See other guys coming in, Achillian Goodman coming in, getting some snaps as well. See Warren Robinson running onto the field.
So pretty much everyone's getting a little bit of playing time here tonight, and you love to see it.
Yeah, exactly. You just want these guys. They practice so hard, and they play in the JV games, but you just want to get live action on a Friday night. Nothing beats that in terms of experience.
There's Marcus Barnes, and he's going to lose some yards back around the 41-yard line, and that was a 2nd down and 2 situation there. So you don't like to see that, losing yards on the ground.
Noticed Dylan Fields in the game, number 54, sophomore offensive lineman. Not enough time in that offense. Just didn't get out there quickly enough. Because Marcus was right on his tail. He didn't have time to set up the block again. But they'll get so much better just by getting this sort of action.
Hand it off to Marcus again. Running towards the near sideline, but he got past the sticks. 1st down.
That is pure speed, man. That was really impressive. Jeremiah Vardaman, junior linebacker for Arkansas High, looked like he had the edge. He was doing a great job of stretching it out, but just too much speed.
Yeah. So now another set of downs for the Parkview Patriots.
This is good. This is a little rhythm. This is fun. This is good for these second team, third team players to get in and get some success. And a lot of starters still in for the Razorbacks.
A quick screen pass to the near side. That's Montrell Thompson.
Nice to see Montrell. I know he's listed as a quarterback, but obviously he's got the speed and the skills. You want to get him out there on the field.
It is very interesting to see a quarterback like him lined up in the slot getting a screen pass.
I mean, when you have that level of talent, you just want to get those athletes out there on the field. You see Parkview not moving with tremendous tempo, but they're not wasting a lot of time either. They want to get in, get the ball snapped. These guys need to put up good tape.
Emmanuel Bunting looking to throw near sideline, just overthrew his man. He was looking for Matthew Gober that time.
Another sophomore out there. Nice action there by Bunting. Just throwing to a receiver he doesn't throw to very often. The timing a little bit off.
Yeah.
Nice action on the fake, though. Clearly, cornerback bit. Safety was back there ready for it, but was able to help free up his man.
So now it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Flag
down
on the
marker.
Play. They are moving the ball. We didn't get an indicator from the white hat what it was. Maybe a roughing penalty the way they're moving the ball.
I couldn't hear the PA announcer.
Just listening as well. Didn't see Mr. Referee give us an indicator.
I didn't even see a flag, honestly.
15-yard penalty, though, so clearly there was some extracurricular activity going on.
So now we're in the red zone. And that's also a sponsorship opportunity if you want to have your business named after the red zone. Here's Marcus Barnes into the end zone.
What a nifty little run that was.
Wow.
Great opening. It was just a little trap play. He found a little hole. Well done on the offensive line, especially with some of these newer players that are in the ball game. Boy, he hit that thing like he knew exactly what he was going to do.
That first step of his was just explosive, too. My goodness.
And he ran through the tape. I like that, too.
Yeah.
Like in a different ball game, there's a collision at the goal line right there. He's winning it.
Yeah.
Because he was dead set getting across. He was running to the back of the end zone.
I believe that's Elliott Bumpers now getting ready to hold the extra point, as we saw.
No, we're talking about.
Yeah. And he trouble with the snap. Now Bumpers is looking to run with it. Now he's going to toss it into the end zone for a 2-point conversion to Jace White. Wow.
That's one of those where you don't know if it's going to go on the highlight reel or not. Bumpers made the best of a bad situation. And that was they're gonna give him some grief about the throw, but the result you cannot quibble with. He got it in the end zone.
There was trouble with the snap, but Elliott made the right decision getting up and running with it. Then he saw Jace wide open at the corner of the end zone. Even the mistakes made by Parkview turn out great.
Well, and Solomon was trying to figure out, are you going to set the ball up for me to kick it or not?
Yeah.
He finally decided, well, let's just see what we can do.
Yep.
And when you've got a kid like Solomon, not your traditional kicker build, you kind of have a personal protector in the backfield when that happens.
Brad Boulding is still down there coaching his guys up before the kickoff. I think one of the referees are getting annoyed, saying, hey, the clock may be rolling, but we got a football game to keep playing.
Yeah, well, he's got a football team to coach. Good for him for sticking with it. That's, again, we talk about this a lot with this program. Championship culture. How do you do it? You get these kids ready when they're freshmen and sophomores, and then if they're second-team juniors, you are coaching them up all the time, and you don't ever stop. And then those leaders help to show the other kids how you do it. And this is why Parkview is year in and year out one of the best teams in the state.
Here's Solomon Aguilar again. His streak is still going strong because that last conversion wasn't necessarily his fault. The snap was just a little bit too high.
Yeah, no missed attempt. His streak is still intact and got that one into the end zone.
This is the last time I'm really going to talk about sponsorship opportunities, but the easiest way that you individually or your business can reach out to us to sponsor Patriots Sports Network's coverage of Parkview football, you can go to the Natural State Sports Network's website and can easily contact us through there and tell them, hey, we want to sponsor this for Parkview football. We want to sponsor the red zone or a touchdown or a first down. You can even sponsor our usual pregame show with the coaches that we unfortunately didn't have any time to do it this week due to scheduling conflicts. But if you enjoy those enough, you enjoy them more than I do, but you can give us a reason to head over to the Keith Jackson facility and record those and play them before the remaining ball games.
We're going to see the backup Isaiah Irwin back in the ball game now, get a few more snaps for Arkansas High. I liked him in the pregame. He definitely throws a good ball. A little slow out of the gate, but kid can wing it. There's no doubt.
A little bit of a scrum there on that run play up the middle. I believe that was Black on the carry, and he's only going to gain about 3 yards.
Yeah, we're already down to just over 2 minutes to go left in the ball game here. Texarkana is going to try and execute a few plays here, see if they can get some momentum and get out of here without getting anybody injured.
Yeah.
They've got the rest of the season still to play. It's going to be pretty difficult for them to have any hope of getting into the playoffs at this point, but you're getting ready for the next year.
Now they're going to run an empty set with a different quarterback this time. That's number 19, Dason Butler, who's a sophomore. Well, I got a different name on my roster. That's Irwin in at quarterback. Isaiah Irwin was a junior. can hand it off. Up the middle. It's Zephaniah Black on that carry, and that'll move the chains. And most fans in the stadium are starting to make their way out, and even the sidelines are starting to pack up their things as there's no 2-minute warning, 2-minute timeout, whatever you want to call it. 1:15 remaining in this ball game.
Yeah, Patriot fans ready for the long trip home.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Coaches ready for the long trip home. They don't want to spend a lot of time packing up when they can get out of the cage. And, now we're at a minute to play in the ball game, seeing some more kids get in that don't get a lot of time. See Donald Lee running out there.
Travion Larkin making his way to the sideline.
You can see Malachi Young out there running in the D-back position. They're running this, move the wishbone out to the trip side now.
Lining up in the oop-de-oop. Hand off to Black up the middle. And he might have been just short of the line to gain. That's really close.
Question now is whether or not Texarkana is going to get another playoff, or they're going to decide to take this one to the house.
There's really one more time, because you still want to, obviously the more inexperienced players are on the field, so you want to get as many plays for them as possible. With 10 seconds, you only have time for so much. It looks like they're going to take just one last play with 5 seconds remaining. If they have, they have trips to the left. And they get it. Black up the middle. Only going to get to the 46-yard line, and that'll do it. A dominating Parkview victory by 50 points. 57-7 is our final score, and there's really not much else to say that hasn't already been said about this football game. Just absolutely crushing Texarkana.
57-7, and it doesn't feel like it was that close.
No. And it wasn't even that close from the first snap, really.
I mean, we talked about this in pregame. And we've said this in the DeQueen game. If you're going to play this, if you're an underdog, you got to get out ahead.
Yeah.
You cannot make mistakes early. And what do? Bobbled the opening kickoff. Had executed one really nice pass play. Clearly had their script, knew what they were doing. After that, nothing they really couldn't get out of their own way. And Parkview just took advantage of every mistake. Opening punt return, took that back. First play from scrimmage was a touchdown.
Yep.
Before people were settling into the seats, it was already 14-0.
We didn't even make it to 2 hours total of game time, as it's not even 2 hours since kickoff. It's 2 minutes till 9 o'clock. So this game is over early, and so is this broadcast, as we might as well just wrap it up right here.
I agree. We'll get a tougher test on the road next week down in Magnolia.
Oh, yeah.
The schedule gets tougher from here on out for Parkview.
Make sure you join us for that one as we head down to Magnolia. And then take a quick look at the remainder of the schedule. It's really crazy to believe that we're at the final home stretch. This next week we're heading down to Magnolia. Then the week after that, on Halloween night, the Thursday night game is our final home game of the regular season as we host Lakeside. And then to end the season in November on the 8th, we go down to Camden Fairview, who is a team that Parkview has even seen in the playoffs, but is also very familiar with in conference play. And they might be a little bit tougher this year, too. We will have to see. So
it's entirely possible that game is for the conference championship. Parkview and Fairview both are sitting undefeated at the moment. And both, Parkview already locked up a win tonight. Fairview was up big against DeQueen. Given that Parkview already will have Lakeside taken care of before they get down there, if they survive that undefeated, that could be for a title.
Yeah. Brett, thank you so much for joining us here from pretty much a long way from home, but we appreciate you making the trek down here to Texarkana.
Glad to do it. Looking forward to next week.
Absolutely. So that'll do it for our broadcast, as we're hungry. We got to go home. For Will Watkins above us in the press box, Jaden Hester, our lone cameraman here next to us, and my partner, Brett Kincaid. This is Trip Keeter saying good night from Texarkana.